Today I want to show you guys a few examples of how trigger multiples are used in surf and Bhop mapping. So to start off, I'm going to make a trigger multiple that blocks fall damage. So let's just select this and Control T on it and make it into an actual trigger multiple. Apply that. So now we've got a trigger. And the other thing we're going to need for this one is called a filter damage type. And this one we're going to need to give a name. So no fall damage. And we're going to set it up so that the damage type that it's changing is fall. There it is. And it's going to disallow it. So it's going to block any player with this enabled from taking fall damage. So I'll put this here. Now we have to have a way to set the user so that they use this fall damage filter. And that's what this trigger is for. So we're going to go to the Outputs tab and add one here. So right here, my output name, we're going to put on trigger. So what that does is anything that touches this, as soon as it touches the trigger, it's going to activate this output here. And this is what we want this output to target. And we're going to do exclamation point activator. I can't type. So what that means is that it's going to target the player or whatever activated the trigger. It's in red, but it's actually going to work. So for the input, we're going to want set damage filter. So this sets the damage filter for the activator here. And the parameter override, we're going to want to use the name of the filter that we just created. So no fall damage. So it's that simple. As soon as someone touches this trigger now, they will no longer take fall damage. So for my second example here, we're going to make this trigger multiple give you anti-grav. So for this, what we're going to do is add two different outputs. And the first one's going to be on start touch. The second one will be on end touch. So what that means is that this output will start whenever a player touches this trigger, and on end touch will run as soon as the player leaves the trigger. So again, we're going to be targeting activator, and this time we're going to use add output, which basically adds a value to the player's entity. So with this, we're going to set it to gravity -1. So once they touch it, their gravity gets set to -1, and they're basically going to be falling upwards. But if we only have this, then they're basically stuck with reverse gravity, and they're going to be stuck with it the rest of the map. So what we want is on end touch. So as soon as they leave this trigger, we want to set the gravity back to normal. So let's target activator again. Via input, add output again, and gravity 1. So now this is only active when you're inside this trigger. Alright. So this one is a bit smaller, and this is going to be our Bhop booster trigger. So basically, when you're in a Bhop map and you jump onto this platform, you're going to want it to kind of give them a boost upwards or in a different direction. But a lot of times what you want is that it only boosts them after they've jumped off of it. So for this, we're going to go back into outputs and add one. We only need one, and it's going to be on end touch. So what that means is that as soon as the user jumps, that's when this is going to activate, and we're going to give them a boost. So we're going to target activator again via the input, add output, and we're going to set base velocity to 0, 0, and probably like 500. So that's going to send them that much straight upwards. And that's all you really need for that one. It's going to boost people whenever they jump on it. Alright, so the last example I wanted to show was basic filtering. So we've got a teleport trigger here that teleports anything that touches it to this guy here, Death's Name. But in a lot of surf maps, Bhop maps, you only want certain people to be teleported. And for that, you're going to need a filter. So let's make an entity called a filter target name, or filter activator name. There it is. And we'll give the filter a name. Call it just filter underscore name. Very descriptive. And we're going to filter for users that are called, let's just go with filter name 1 just because. And we'll set it, yeah, we'll leave it as allow. So I'll just move that up here. So now what we're going to want to do is go to here where there's a filter name in our trigger teleport and put in filter underscore name, which is the name of this filter entity here. Now, what this is going to do is look at the target name of any user that touches this teleport trigger, as long as clients is checked. And if their target name matches filter name 1, then it's going to teleport them, and if it doesn't, it won't do anything. So what we want to do here is use this trigger multiple to set the target name, which is basically just the name of the entity, I guess, that things use to refer to it. We're going to set that to filter name 1. So to do this, we'll add an output. It can be on trigger. It doesn't have to be, but it's easy. And we'll target the activator again. And we will add output again. But this time we're going to do target name. And it was filter name 1. Alright. So basically what that's going to do is give anyone that touches this trigger the name filter name 1. And that's going to match this case for our filter. And basically it will allow anyone that's touched this trigger to get teleported. And I've got another one here that does basically the same thing, but it just has other name. So if you touch this afterwards, it will reset your name and it will not affect you if you touch this trigger. So now let's just compile the map real quick and jump into the game and just look at some of these working. Alright. I think I called it trigger multiple. Here it is. Alright. So this is our anti-grav. If we jump, it shoots us way up. And if you see, this might kill me. Nope, I'm at 14 HP, so I just took fall damage. So if I hit this, you might die, except it's blocked you from taking fall damage, so now you can just survive whatever. Which is really nice in surf maps because you end up falling and smashing into things quite a lot. Now here is our Bhop platform. So as you see, you can jump and it sends you flying up. But unlike the gravity, you actually have to land on the platform before it'll send you going anywhere. And finally we've got our trigger teleport. So right now I just have the default target name. So this teleporter is not going to do anything. But if I were to touch this, suddenly I'm teleported. So now I'm matching the filter name that it's checking for. And then if I go into here, as you know, it's going to reset my target name. And now the trigger no longer affects me. So hopefully this has helped a little bit to get you into using filters and trigger multiples in your maps. Hopefully you can make some good maps with this. Thank you.